Aloha guys, this is Joyce from Enjoy Scrapping 2, and today I'll be making a card for Through the Craft Room Doors Color Challenge for March through April. So this challenge will end April 15th, so you have plenty of time to participate in the challenge. And the challenge is to use 3 of the 5 color that I showed in the beginning of this video. And just to talk a little bit more about them, the Through the Craft Room Door is an online community, and they have a lot of different challenges and prizes and inspirations. There's a lot of things going on this site. Another cool thing about them is that they also have a bi-monthly magazine. It's an online magazine that you can subscribe to for only $18 a year. So that's 6 issues of magazines for 1 year, and it only costs $18. And it has a lot of different tutorials, how-tos, articles, like DIY, kids crafts. I mean, there's a lot of things jam-packed in this magazine just for $18 a year. So I think that's pretty cool. Another cool thing is that I was lucky enough to be asked to be on part of their design team, which I'm super excited about, and I'll be working with some incredibly talented ladies, and I'll start designing for them April 1st. So you'll be seeing a lot more projects that I'll be doing for the Through the Craft Room Door. So anyways, all the information will be listed below, so you can go ahead and check that out. And all the supplies that I use for this card today will not be listed in the descriptions below like I normally do, but it can be found in the next issue of the magazine. So I'll have all of that information below. So for today, I have some things pre-prepped here like I normally do. So I cut out several shapes here using some stitched border dies. They're all different border dies, and I have a design paper here also cut with this stitched border die. And I'm really loving the color palette of the choices that they gave this month. It's really pretty, and it's one of my favorite colors. So I'm also going to be working with some distress stains today, and the colors that I'll be working with is Peacock Feathers, Salty Ocean, and Evergreen Bough, and I'll be using this deep red stamp set. And the top piece of that cardstock is this right here, is a watercolor cardstock that I cut, and it's a pretty thick watercolor cardstock. It's 140 pound, and it's cold press watercolor paper, so there's a lot of texture to it. So I'll be using the distress stains directly on this rubber stamp here. First starting with my Salty Ocean, and then Peacock Feathers, and Evergreen Bough. So you kind of have to kind of squish it a little to get the ink started. And over here you could totally see that I pressed way too hard and it splattered all over. But it's okay. And I'm just putting colors randomly. There's no wrong way, right or wrong way. I'm just adding colors here and there. And I have too much color in some areas, so I kind of dabbed it off with the paper towel, and I'll be stamping it. And because this has a lot of texture to this cardstock, I'm kind of holding it there so that I can get a better impression, as you can see here. And this is all dried. And because I had some ink left over on the stamp, I went ahead and grabbed another watercolor cardstock and stamped it again. And I'll probably use that next time. So this dragonfly flourish is really beautiful, and it's a really deeply etched rubber stamp. Deep red rubber stamp is a excellent quality of rubber stamp. And today I'll be doing some paper piecing as well. So I will be stamping this dragonfly with the black dye ink onto this design paper that you see here. So I'm stamping it once on this design paper. As you can see how much detail is in this stamp. It's really beautiful. And I'm also going to use a gold glitter cardstock for the body of the dragonfly, which I'll be stamping right here, as you can see. And I just put the cardstock right on just the body portion, because I will be fussy cutting all of these out. And I won't be doing the fussy cutting on camera because I am not the best fussy cutter, so I'll go off camera and cut everything out. So, but before that, I will be stamping uh, another one on this vellum here that you see, because I want to make the wings kind of transparent looking. So I decided to use this vellum, and even though I was using the dye ink, the ink didn't dry as fast as I wanted on the vellum. So I went ahead and used clear embossing powder and just embossed it. And I cut everything out, as you can see here. So I have the body cut out of the gold cardstock, glitter cardstock. And now I'm going to be stamping the sentiment, and I'll be using the same dye ink. And this is one of the new paper smooches stamp set that I got recently. And I love the fun, bold handwriting. And I'm stamping this down, and I'm also going to sprinkle clear embossing powder and emboss it. I prefer to do this especially on textured or watercolor cardstock. Instead of using black embossing powder, I just have better luck with it. So I don't have a lot of strays of black embossing powder all over the cardstock. So I have a A2 size card front here, and I'll be attaching this panel to the front part of my card base, and this will cover the entire card base. And then I'll add this design paper, but before that I'm going to add some color, and this is cracked pistachio. I love this color, and it matches perfectly with this design paper. So I'm really excited to get started designing for them. They have a lot of different sponsors that sponsors some of their challenges and things like that. And these ladies that are on this design team are just really, really talented. And I'll be learning a lot from them. So I just added some little bit of color to this watercolor panel, and I'll be putting this on some foam adhesive. And put that right in the center. And so for the dragonfly, I will be paper piecing them, but I'm kind of folding the wings up so it gives more of like a three-dimensional look to it. And I'm adding my Tombow liquid glue right in the body part. And it doesn't matter if the glue shows through because I have that gold cardstock that I cut for the body, which is going to go right on top. So there is the dragonfly. And this is going to go right on top of that dragonfly that's on the watercolor paper. So it's like the colors are kind of coming out from the dragonfly. And I like the look of this three-dimensional wing. Kind of using a bone folder to curl it just a little bit. So you can see the dimension on that. And I decided that it looked kind of too plain, so I'm adding some gold sequins. And this is kind of like a matte gold finish to it, and I thought it would match better than the clear because of the gold body of the dragonfly. So I'm kind of laying where I want them to go, and I'm going to kind of fuss with it, trying to adhere the sequins to the card. I'm using my tweezer and the pickup tool, but at the end I just end up using my hands. So it was sticking to my finger. That's why it's better to use either the tweezer or the pickup tool. And normally I use the multimedia mat, but today I don't know why I use the liquid glue, especially Tombow, because Tombow kind of dries a little bit tacky. So after this, I'll be adding some clear wing Costella on the wings of the dragonfly. So it'll kind of look like a transparent, sparkly wings. So I really had fun making this card for this challenge. So all the information will be listed down below. And also you can check it out on my blog as well. So you'll be seeing a lot more projects, and I'll be talking a lot more about them in the future videos. So I really like the way this turned out. So thank you so much for watching, and please give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye.